Hey guys, back here with some news about the misinformation bill, which which was pushed through during the election. Actually, pretty sneaky, and it's always like this. The government is always so sneaky. South Australian government, federal government, they always do this. They just wait for something crazy to happen, like an election or some sort of protest, and they'll just push it through. But let's have a listen to this.
Is expected to play a significant role in Trump's team. Will you push ahead with social media and misinformation bills, even if Donald Trump doesn't want you to?
We decide the policies that Australia puts forward as a sovereign nation.
So there you go, guys. Albanese, telling us, no, it doesn't matter what Trump or Musk or whatever says. They're going to push down this misinformation bill. They're literally just trying to get this through as soon as they can, because as soon as they can put in place this, you won't be able to have opinions online anymore. So, forget about the whole misinformation thing. You won't even be able to have an opinion, because your opinions could be considered not factual. And so there's no point even having an opinion anymore, because you have to be right 100% of the time, all the time, in the philosophy of what they're dealing with. And that also means that the government and the media companies always have to be right as well. And we know historically that they're almost half the time wrong, maybe more. So it's like, who are these people deciding that they get to be the ones that decide what the truth is? And who are they the ones to decide that you can't even have an opinion anymore? The whole point of being a human is no one's perfect. People say things that are wrong, or have opinions. You're allowed to have an opinion of things, but not anymore, because if they push through, this bill looks very likely to be pushed through. It's also just asking for an election loss. Why would you do this to yourself? Why would you think this is a smart idea to just push through something so stupid and outrageous? Here's another one. Look at this. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is from an ACMA representative, James Christhold, just said that the misinformation bill actually goes a long way to protecting human rights rather than minimizing them. And you got to remember, guys, this comes after some pretty. Watch this. Wait, let's watch this first.
There has also been claims throughout this process of investigating this bill that the bill is actually a harm to human rights. What would you say to that?
We would say that the bill actually strengthens human rights protections for the reasons that Mr. Hiles outlined, by strengthening and ensuring the online environment minimises or prevents information that would in fact have those serious consequences to the range of rights that Mr. Hiles outlined, including in relation to individual safety and health and well-being, and
what does that even mean? Are people not able to just be offended anymore? Do we need to go so far that being offended is basically owning a gun, or having a weapon? I mean, what kind of society what kind of nanny country are we living in where you can't even be offended anymore because it could potentially be dangerous? What is that? Grow up. This is ridiculous.
And to the sort of the rights that are there spelled out. So we think that they actually go a long way to helping to protect human rights rather than
helping human rights by censoring everyone. You saw what happened during the pandemic. You see all the time. It's not even the pandemic. Let's move on from the pandemic. Just in general, governments are renowned historically for always wanting to get their way, and they're not always going to be the truth tellers. The governments and leadership, monarchs have never been known as these resounding holders of truth that can just go ahead and run society at a flawless rate. That's the whole. The reason why America exists is because a group of young founding fathers got together really young and said, hey, we know tyranny exists, especially it's in human nature, there's tyranny, especially with monarchs and other forms of government. We're going to put in the First Amendment, which is literally freedom of speech, and then the Second Amendment to protect the First Amendment, which is the ability to bear arms, so that the government can be held responsible for if they remove the First Amendment, and then you can have a militia to basically set up. That's the only reason that those two First, Second Amendments exist. Is literally to protect humanity and allow every single one of us to have a voice and opinion. Because this is a scenario. One day the government goes, okay, we're going to bring in lockdowns for climate change. And we want to do this because this is a hypothetical, by the way. We want to do this because we want to have everyone really restrained, monitored, and you're only allowed out of the house when we want to because climate change. We're really worried about the weather, and going outside is very dangerous. It's too hot to go outside. Then you have a bunch of people going, "Oh my god, I can't handle this. I don't want to be inside all the time. I want to go outside." And then they send information, "Hey, look, guys, we can go outside. I can handle the heat." And the government say, "No, you're wrong. You can't handle the heat. We're going to take you from your home, or we're going to fine you, put you in jail for saying that." It's a really crazy hypothetical, but the point is the government will weaponize this misinformation bill to get what they want, to silence people, to silence political opponents, to silence political parties. Liberal and Labor will use this. It's not going to be like if Labor passes this, the only thing the Libs will use it to silence the left. Like it goes both ways. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe this is the country I like. This is the country I live in now. I grew up in an Australia that was renowned for people say, "Oh, it's like in our constitution." Yeah, but it doesn't need to be in our constitution. It needs to be. It's in here. Like, where are we? What are we living in right now? Are we living in some sort of communist country where you can't even have, you can't even be wrong, or right, because you might be right and the government's like, "No, you're wrong." So the government now, yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyways, guys, I'm just kind of ranting here, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this is absolutely ridiculous as well? What can we do to stop this? Vote. The election's coming up. Let's see what party puts forth, or obviously the Liberals have to step up now. The Liberals literally have to step up and shut this down. And I really hope they do so, because otherwise we're in big trouble. We're really in big trouble.